The deceptive appeal of poor choices. Solomon's story begins with immense potential. God granted him wisdom beyond measure, 1 Kings 3:12, setting him apart as a king capable of leading Israel with righteousness and integrity. However, even wisdom does not prevent temptation, and Solomon's choice to accumulate wives was not just about relationships, but also power and alliances. What are the modern equivalents of such decisions? They might not involve taking multiple spouses, but they often involve choosing short-term pleasure or gain over long-term faithfulness and integrity. Cheating on a spouse or betraying someone's trust might seem appealing in the moment, but it erodes the foundation of relationships and inner peace. The gradual drift from faithfulness. In 1 Kings 11:4 we read, "As Solomon grew old, his wives turned his heart after other gods, and his heart was not fully devoted to the Lord his God." This verse reveals the gradual process of drifting away from what is right. Solomon didn't suddenly abandon God. It happened little by little, compromise after compromise. Challenge yourself. Are there small compromises in your life that could lead to bigger issues? Cheating, lying, or ignoring what you know is right may not seem significant now, but they can snowball into larger problems that affect your relationships and spiritual well-being. The ripple effect of choices. Solomon's choices didn't just impact him. They affected an entire nation. His idolatry and disobedience set a precedent for the people of Israel, leading to widespread sin and eventually the division of the kingdom. 1 Kings chapter 11:11. Every decision we make has a ripple effect. When someone cheats, it doesn't just harm the person they betray, it affects children, families, and even future generations. Think about the legacy you want to leave behind. As Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children." What kind of inheritance are you building with your choices? The illusion of fulfillment. Solomon pursued pleasure, wealth, and power to fill the void in his life. He amassed gold, built grand palaces, and surrounded himself with people who could cater to his every whim. Yet in Ecclesiastes 2:11 he admits, "Everything was meaningless, a chasing after the wind, nothing was gained under the sun." Cheating or seeking shortcuts in life may promise happiness, but it's often an illusion. True fulfillment comes not from fleeting pleasures, but from living with integrity and in alignment with God's purpose. Ask yourself, will this decision bring me closer to lasting joy or lead to emptiness? The hope of redemption. Even though Solomon made mistakes, his story doesn't end in despair. In Ecclesiastes 12:13 he writes, "Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind." This conclusion shows that Solomon found clarity and redemption by returning to God's truth. No matter how far we stray, there is always a way back. God's grace is sufficient for anyone who repents. As 1 John 1:9 reminds us, "If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just, and will forgive us our sins and purify us from all unrighteousness." A call to action. Before making any decision, especially one that could compromise your integrity, pause and reflect. Use these questions to guide your actions. Does this choice honor God? How will this decision affect my relationships? Is this a short-term gain at the cost of long-term peace? Choose wisely, because your decisions shape not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. Solomon's story reminds us that wisdom is not just about knowing what is right, it's about doing what is right. Let his life inspire you to build a legacy of faithfulness, integrity, and love. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind. Ecclesiastes 12:13. Your choices today matter for eternity. Choose faithfulness over fleeting pleasures and trust that God's way leads to true joy and lasting peace.